on too long, I want to hand the microphone over to Senator Whitehouse. Senator Whitehouse, of course, is a leader in the U.S. Senate. He speaks every week about climate change, and usually Wednesday afternoon, if you're ever in Washington, stop by the Rhode Island office and get a pass and go to the visitors gallery. He's spoken, I think, 270 times, telling our country to wake up, time to wake up on climate change. He's a genuine leader on this issue. And he was the U.S. attorney appointed by Clinton. He was the Rhode Island Attorney General and the assistant AG before that. He's on a bunch of really important committees. Of course, you've probably seen him on Judiciary, Budget, Finance, and Environment and Public Works, where he's on 3 different subcommittees. He's, again, a real climate warrior, and I'm really grateful for all his support for the work we're doing, and look forward to working with you in the future. Thank you so much for being here today. You can come on up while I mess around with this.
I'm going to be super brief because we're already past the time when the first panel should start. So I'm just going to say thank you. I'll speak at greater length at lunch. I do think that there is a nexus of climate and denial and risk that needs to be properly understood for us to address this question. And it is very, very rarely properly understood. In part, that is because there is an apparatus of unprecedented scale designed to cause misunderstanding. In part is because of just a certain amount of indolence and entropy in human behavior. But I consider this conference to be extremely important because it brings together those 3 elements in a way that the narrative on climate change usually fails at doing. This is a big deal. If you have a chance to do a little bit of light reading in your spare time, I recommend a wonderful book called Bury the Chains, which is about a small group of people who banded together and successfully ended the industry of slavery in England. They started very small in the basement of a nondescript bookstore in a non-fancy neighborhood in London, and they brought down the biggest industry in the country by a variety of methods. And I think when the history is written of how we buried the fossil fuel chains, this meeting and the assembly of climate denial and risk into a coherent narrative will be a part of that story. So never underestimate what a small number of people can do. We need to command this narrative, and as I'll speak further at lunch, I think we're at a tipping point where we can do so. Thank you.
Thank you.